So Amicus are a really important British film production company, or they were for me. Probably more so than Hammer. They're a tiny, tiny place, built out of Shepperton Studios in the 60s all the way through to 1977. Two American producers, Milton Subotsky and Max Rosenberg. Now, as Jed Shepherd said to me, it was a shed that they were in. They had worked together before, and they got a really core group of British people to work on it. They had made a film together in 1960. Their first films were really low budget musicals, but they soon got into the horror genre, and it's their portmanteau films or anthology films that they're most remembered for. I'll talk to you about two of my favourites. I love them because for people with sort of less attention span like myself, it's great when they're broken down into small stories, especially if they're linked together. So I'll talk to you about some of them, some of their influences, and I do want to kind of talk about my hopes for the future for them. I know certain people in the industry have said, they're worried about it being a Kickstarter. They haven't got the same funding that Hammer have got with the big production company or producer from the American musicals involved over with Hammer. Amicus, sometimes people used to get them mixed up with Hammer quite a lot, but often if it was an anthology film with some of the same people, a lot of the same people actually from Hammer, if it was a portmanteau film, if it was an anthology, it was probably Amicus you were watching. But yes, you would see Peter Cushing. Yes, you would see Christopher Lee. And I've got high hopes for the new one. And I'm going to post some of the interactions and some of the things I've seen and the things that I've put money into, because I want to kind of get a nice cool hat that says Amicus on it, but also I want to watch the Blu-ray. I want them to be successful. So there's quite a few that I think were amazing. My favourite of them all is Asylum, and yes, Peter Cushing is in that one. It's a strange one because you've got Robert Powell as the main kind of protagonist in it, and it's broken down into these little rooms that people are in this asylum, this hospital for people who have been through traumatic events. But there's things in it that are maybe you can even talk a little bit about with even things like like Puppet Master. There's some really strange influences in it. Britt Ekland's in it, Herbert Lom's in it, but this is my absolute favourite. This is the one for me. Asylum, this is my favourite. However, Dr. Terror's House of Horror runs it close. Peter Cushing on a train at the beginning, and he kind of works out the misfortunes of all of these different people. Roy Castle's in there. We've got some voodoo. We discover people's wives being vampires. It is a really, really cool one. Donald Sutherland's in it as well. Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing in that one. They often had 4 small films linked together into one. Loosely, and you kind of see that influence now with other things. You've seen that influence in Creepshow and things like that. But even in Britain, we like that idea of short, almost disposable horror. So there's things like that went on later on, like this one, which is the Tales of the Unexpected, the Hammer House of Horror TV show. And other companies made their own versions of them, realising that it was quite cheap. You could reuse people a lot. So they did that a lot. So there's one, Tales That Witnessed Madness and things like that were quite popular as well. So that's Amicus in the past. We're going to have a little talk. I'm going to show you a few things like screen grabs and shots and things that I've seen about the new Amicus, Lawrie Brewster and his Kickstarter campaign, and I hope people get involved. I'll put a link there below. It'd be great, wouldn't it, to have Hammer and Amicus back again? But hopefully we'll see how that goes. I think they will be back. It's just how long will they be back for? We've had these false dawns before, and I really do want them to stick around. I think they are really important. Like Jed Shepherd said in his interview, with me a while ago. Britain needs to be a powerhouse in horror again. We need to get the BFI supporting horror, not just putting the name on things after they've been successful, or turning a horror film into something else because it's still seen as like a dirty thing rather than something to be proud of. Britain was a powerhouse of horror, so it'd be really cool to see them be successful. Okay, so next I'm going to go into the Kickstarter, the new ideas for it, and what I think about it. Back in September, I posted on Twitter that Hammer has a new financier, and I hope someone with proven success, and they have got success in theatre. I hope Amicus gets lots of investment beyond the Kickstarter, and the only person to like that was Lawrie Brewster, the actual the head of Amicus now. So I'm sure he wants the same. I'm sure he wants to kind of get to be on a solid footing beyond this Kickstarter. So I'm hoping that's what will happen. It would be great. I think Movies in Focus, it's been resurrected, and are we about to see the dawn of a new golden era of UK horror? That would be amazing, wouldn't it? That would be so cool. So yeah, Lawrie, I know you liked it. Let's hope somebody does get involved, and someone with deep pockets and really helps out. So one of the really good perks about, I love my hats, one of the great perks about the Amicus Kickstarter, lots of great things for people to kind of get as extra stretch goals and things like that. I know they're going for a little bit of a mini telethon at the moment, but when I signed up on the day, there was different things available. And one of them I went for was an Amicus cap. So I'll be getting that soon, hopefully, when everything gets funded. I think it's already funded. To be honest, I think they're already there. But yeah, keep checking out the Kickstarter and see what extra things they're going to put. That would be really good. Okay, so new cap, that's number one. So the other thing I signed up for was, well, the important part, the film. As lovely it is to get a new hat. The In the Grip of Terror new special edition Blu-ray that they're going to do. And it'd be nice to have on the shelf. And as you can see there, as of this evening, 351 people have backed that already. It would be so good to have that Amicus next to my, Asylum Blu-ray, next to my Dr. Terror's House of Horror Blu-ray, all the other ones. So yeah, it would be really good if people get on board with that. We kind of, hopefully there'll be more than one. That's the aim. If they can get to 2, 3, 4 films, then I'll be so happy with that. So this is where they are as of now. They've actually got £117,000 plus of their pledge. They've got 750 backers, and In the Grip of Terror looks like it's going to happen. But still, I think we can kind of keep plugging away, keep helping, see what else they can do. We want to see Amicus and Hammer next to each other, thriving in the future. So fingers crossed for that one. Let's hope for the best. So do I think that Amicus are going to be successful in the future, and this is going to be a new golden era for British horror alongside Hammer? Well, I certainly hope so. I think this opens up a bigger question, goes right back to what Jed Shepherd said to me in my first interview that I did with someone from the British horror industry, and someone who I hope really gets to spearhead the future of it, because he's really keen. Jed Shepherd is really keen to kind of boost Britain as the home of horror. And I think unless people with a lot of money right at the top of the British film industry, until those people get involved and realise that that's what gets people in the cinemas. Horror is getting people in the cinemas. People go out and watch Scream. People go out and watch these films when the only other ones that people turn up for are your big franchise films, in terms of Mission Impossible and the Marvel films. So there's a market there for it. People want this, and the lottery money that's going into films that are being made in Britain are not being put into films that people in Britain actually want to watch, which is really strange. So you literally pay your lottery money. Some of that goes to the British film industry, and then the British Film Institute, and then they don't spend it on things you want to see. So we need Amicus, we need a new Amicus, we need a Hammer, but we need new Hammer. Like, we're losing people who are incredible artists who are making films. And if you listen to my Jason Brown interview, Jason was at college with Shane Meadows, and Shane Meadows' year were the last ones to kind of get that investment from different schemes, and then it was just taken away. So we really need that in Britain. Shouldn't have to go to America for funding, shouldn't have to go to Kickstarter for funding. These things should be getting funded through the arts councils, through the grants. Let's go, really, let's go. Let's support Amicus, let's get them over the line first, and then we'll talk about all those other things later. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed learning a bit about Amicus. Watch those films, go onto IMDb and go through the list of the Amicus films, and you won't be disappointed. They're so much fun. So I really hope you enjoy them. Because the British film industry really does need to get behind horror. We need more films like Host, but this time with loads of money being put into it, so that Rob Savage and people like that don't have to go over to America to make films, so that people don't have to go over and make the Meg 2 because they can't make films over here. These things need to happen. All right, I'm off my soapbox now. Have a great evening. Enjoy yourselves. Love you. Bye.